Alright, so this is our 1983 Grady White Seafarer 226 model. This is the model that has the notch transom, and bought this boat on the 20th of June, brought it home, and now we're starting to do some restoration on it. So you can see we kind of took out seats, been pulling the liners out the sides, went in the cabin, pulled a liner out, pulled the fuel lines. This actually had two sets because it was set up for a dual tank arrangement. We had one single tank in the rear, 93-gallon tank that we pulled and cut the bulkhead out between this compartment and that one. We're going to move the fuel tank forward. I'm actually purchasing a new fuel tank. This one's 34 years old, has a little bit of pitting in it, don't like that. You can kind of see I'm going to replace all the combing around the cockpit here. I'm going to replace all the access ports. And right now we're diving into the transom. We are going to build a new transom to fill it in, and we're going to install a bracket on the back of the boat with the engine or motor hanging off that bracket. It will give us some flotation and also give us some more room in the cockpit here. So just removed both batteries from the compartments, and going to be doing a lot of cleanup. You can kind of see. And ultimately I'm going to make a cut through here, cut this rear part of the transom out, pull this liner away, and then laminate in new wood or composite material, reglass it, and put new gel coat on it. So got a lot of work to do, but nice boat, got good bones, has nice hard top, you can see that, and looking to repower it with probably a 250 horse Yamaha 4-stroke. It had a 225 Yamaha that had grenaded a couple cylinders, not really worth repairing that, and I think it'll do well with a new motor. So yeah, like I said, nice little project boat, pretty excited about it, working with my dad and family on it. Gonna learn some things, I'm sure. Nice aluminum trailer. Gonna end up acid washing the hull, buffing everything out. Have some new graphics for the other side. They got a little bit of rub mark on them. Gonna fix, this is where a kicker motor was installed. Gonna repair that. So lots of good work. More to come. Alright, so working on this Seafarer Grady White 226, and you can kind of see the middle of the boat. And I removed the fuel tank, removed the bulkhead, and ultimately going to move the fuel tank from this compartment forward to do a little bit of weight distribution. You can see that I've ground the fiberglass in there to get it prepared for some new glass work. Additionally, this is the transom. Again, this is a notched transom boat. We're going to fill that in. And you can see how we've removed all the old wood and the inner liner. You can see how we've cut that out. Ultimately, I'm going to have to take that piece of the gunnel out as well. You can see all the grind work that's been done, getting down to like a 40 grit, really getting down into the outside shell of the boat. So everything looks good. We're going to end up using Coosa board, rebuilding, skinning back over, rebuilding all of that, retabbing in, and actually bringing it up a little bit with the stringers. So a couple tools that we use that helped out. I'll show you that next. Alright, so a couple things have really been very helpful as we've worked on the boat. So one is I have a Sonic Crafter from Rockwell. This is a vibratory tool. You can get different different heads on it, different cutters. So using a bimetallic cutter, one that's rated for wood with nails. You don't want to use anything that's just for wood or plastic because it will wear out quickly, but this has been an indispensable tool. Makes nice cuts, very efficient. You do get a little bit of dust. You can see everything's kind of dusty, but we use a vacuum cleaner, kind of keep that away from ourselves. And then for a lot of the grinding work, what I've been using are these sanding disc wheels on my angle grinder. And so, 4.5 inch angle grinder. I bought several of these discs at Harbor Freight, bought a couple at Home Depot, just kind of do a little comparison work. The ones from Home Depot do last a little longer. They're also, fairly expensive, but, just to kind of show you some of the things, like 60 grit. I think I had some 40s that really did a nice job, but, just trying different things. This seemed to do a great job, and I will tell you, you get a lot of dust when you're doing this. You'll want to be making sure you're wearing a respirator and have some good airflow, use some vacuum source, things of that nature. But two things that have just made this job so much easier as we've been working on, pulling the tank, removing the bulkhead, doing some cutting of fiberglass, and then preparing for new glass work. And so this is actually the Coosa board. You can kind of get a look at it. I'm going to use some 1-inch Coosa board, 2 pieces in the transom work, and I bought a couple pieces of 1/2 inch, depending on what I think I need for thickness or some other work that I'm doing with stringers or bulkheads. But it is a fairly lightweight compared to, I'm just moving that with my thumb, and that's a 4x8 sheet. But if that was plywood, it'd be extremely heavy. So I'm pretty interested to see how this works out. Read a lot of good things. Very low water absorption, less than 1% or like 1.1%, but not hurt by water. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, and here we have the new fuel tank. And so we'll work to install this. Had this built by Patriot Marine Welding. They're in New Jersey, and did a fabulous job. Got some mounting tabs, is something that they add in that the original tank does not have. And I also bought some neoprene type rubber to put on the bottom of the tank. I'll use some 5200 sealant to affix that rubber to the bottom wherever it's going to be seated in the well where it's going to be located. Key with aluminum is you don't want water sitting between it and where it's sitting on, so we got to make sure that we're dry and that we're well protected. So again, this tank looks fantastic. Weld looks great. Very excited to get it installed. So that's kind of the progress report. Today I'm going to work to remove the remaining through hulls that I have that need to be pulled from the boat. I'm replacing all of them, and I'm going to be using stainless steel. I'm going to measure up for the fuel line and the vent line, and I'm also going to work on kind of a template for how we're going to install the fuel tank. I'm going to have to do a little glass work. Ultimately, I'd like to paint or epoxy down in the hold where the fuel tank was located, back in that region right there. I'm going to create a kind of a dry storage area, put a little grate on the bottom in case it does get water in it. But I'd like it to look nice. I know, people might think it's kind of crazy to, do a restoration to a boat that's, from 1983, but, it's got a nice top, nice enclosure. I don't know, just kind of feel like this could be a great boat. So we're going to work to make it that way. Thanks.